Hello and welcome to my ever messy art area. So today what I wanted to do is I really only had I think like 8 pages left of this Canson mixed media paper. So what I'm going to do is I've ripped all the pages out and I'm actually going to make a tape journal with it using washi tape and a method that I learned from Paper and Book Arts a few months back. And I will re-find that video and I will link it below. So if you want to watch her version as well, you're more than welcome. But what we're going to do is we are going to fold every single piece of paper in half. So I'm just going to do that. Also, I got my nails done. Aren't they pretty? Happy Mother's Day, everyone. But these were my Mother's Day gift. So I got my nails done. So if I act a little clumsy, it's probably because of that. I am not used to doing art with long nails, but I do love long nails. I think they're very pretty. I just kind of suck at them. So if I look like I'm struggling a little bit, I probably am. But I'm sure after a few days I'll get used to them again. So I'm just going to fold all of these in half and stack them on top of each other. Try to be as best as I can. I'm not the best folder in the world. Some people put rulers in between their papers. That would probably be helpful, but we all know that sometimes I gotta do it the hard way. So I'm just gonna make sure I get every piece of paper in here. And what I'm gonna do with this journal is I wanna turn it into a watercoloring journal. Because I have really decided that I really like watercoloring, and I didn't know that about myself until I started doing Janet's scavenger hunt. So I want to practice more and try to get better at it. And I thought, what a better way to do that than to make a dedicated area where I can just watercolor whenever I want and we can grow and learn together. So I just thought that that would be a really sweet idea. And I'm pretty excited about it. Like, I feel like I've done really good with watercolors. Like, I'll show you, I believe in another video I've already shown it, but I can show it again. In my scavenger hunt journal, I did 2 colors I hate. And 2 colors I hate are actually red and brown. I don't hate them, but I dislike them. And so instead of just doing whatever with this page, I tried to create a beautiful image with it. And I also tried to really test myself and try to do better with watercolors, like trying to do layering in here, you know, some texture, different stuff like that. So I just thought if I had a dedicated area to do practice like that, you know, because I want to only have scavenger related stuff in that journal, that it would be really exciting and fun, you know, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. Which is really funny. Whenever I go to do something, it seems like almost every time I'm going and grabbing watercolors, which is crazy because before this year I maybe watercolored like twice. You know, it was just something I kind of had but never used. And then I at one point I bought the Paul Rubens because I think I probably saw Dee Dee use them or something and was like, ooh, they have glitter ones, that looks pretty. And like I got them but then never used them. And then this year, I don't know, like, I feel like this year is just my year for art. It's the year of art, y'all. So, you know, and it's been really fun getting to know different mediums, getting to converse with different artists, stuff like that. So I would definitely encourage, if you're a lurker on other channels, you know, reach out to those artists, you know, ask them questions about what they're doing. They're all very nice people most of the time. I've not met a mean one yet. So, you know, just try your best and, you know, ask them for advice. And chances are, if they're showing it online, they're wanting you to ask for advice. So it's totally fine. And, you know, you can just learn so much from them. That's what I'm doing, and it's working out great. I'm learning from people that I greatly respect, hopefully making friendships with them as well. And I think, you know, art does something to people. It brings people together in this beautiful community, and I love that. So, you know, if you were like me and were a lurker, go talk to people. It's scary, but you can do it. All right, so I've got 2 different types of washi tape. I'm probably going to use one for the spine, and then I like to do like one strip on the inside just for like a little bit of color and fun, so it's not just tape everywhere. So afterwards we'll go through and I'll just add like a strip of tape to each side. But what I'm gonna do is let's see, I'm probably gonna do the spine and everything with the strawberry one. And like I said, I did just get my nails done, so I'm probably gonna be on the struggle bus a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm gonna just cut 3 slices here. So I've got 1, ooh, and then 2, 3. If I want to, I can go more than that, but I'm gonna do 3, 2, 3. I think that would be okay for this kind of paper. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put a piece of tape towards the bottom like this. And you can get it as straight as you want, it doesn't really matter. And I'm not gonna fold it over yet, I'm gonna leave it unhinged. And then I'm gonna do one about the middle. Like that. And I'm gonna do one on the very end. And you can do as many pieces of tape as you want, it doesn't really matter. Now these two are not taped together yet. This one's just resting over it. It doesn't need to be taped yet. So then I'm going to take, since I did 3, I'm going to take 2. And I'm just going to do 1. Where's my end of my tape? Hello. Come on, little friend. Here we go. And so what I'm going to do is I have these 2 pieces of paper. This one does not have tape on it yet. So I'm going to go like this, and in the middle of where these other 2 pieces are, somewhere in the middle of that, just put another piece of tape. Like that. Okay. Make sure that they're lined up, and then you'll reach for the tape on the very first piece of paper and just tug it down. Like that. I'm gonna go for this middle piece, tug it down, and I do pull a little bit when I do that just to make sure it's really in there. Like that. So now, if I lift this up, these 2 are connected and these are not. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna continuously go and flip it, and it'll just weave it together. Okay, so I'm gonna put another piece of paper on top, like that. And this time I'm gonna go back to 3 pieces. 1, 2, and these make really great gifts. One of my friends, her name's Megan, she had a birthday party, and I made her a little journal like this, except I did like the entire spine, and she really loved it. So I would encourage you to make these for friends too if you can. So I'm gonna try to line it up with the other ones, and I'm just gonna stick it like that. On this third one, I'm gonna go here in the middle. And I'm just doing this to my topmost piece of paper, like that. And then I'm just gonna make sure everything's aligned okay. And then I'm gonna take the two that I didn't use last time and just fold them down. Like that. And if we look at our spine, we now have connected papers, and we have the three that we just stuck sticking up. And then I'm just gonna keep going. So I'm gonna set this guy on top. I'm gonna go back to my tape and get two pieces this time. So this piece will be here. And then, oh, here it is. And there's my second piece. Okay. So then I'm just gonna look and see where that other one was. It was about right there. Oops. So I'm just gonna pluck it down like that. Gonna peek under here. See where that one is. It was right about there. Like that. And then I'm just gonna reline them up again. And this time we're gonna put our three down. So 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Got 4 more to go. So I'm gonna set this one down. I need 3 pieces of tape this time. And I did not use regular watercolor paper, and it's because I don't think I have any right now. But I do have mixed media paper, and I do watercolor on it, and I haven't had any problems yet. Knock on wood. But, you know, you just use whatever paper you want to use, and you can do this. Very, very easy. So I got one there. One there. One right about there. And I'm just gonna make sure my book is all lined up. And then this one was the 2. So I'm just gonna go like that. Okay. And then on this next one, we'll do 2 pieces of tape. I'm just gonna lift up this top layer to take a peek at where that was. About there. About there. And then I'm gonna just make sure all the pages are lined up. And I'm gonna tug my 3 down. This one, and after this one I just have one more. 2. Oh my, that went on the floor. 3. Okay. Then I'm just gonna look at where that hinge is. I'm just gonna put it there. Put that one there. We'll put that one about there. Stretch our 2. Oops. I pulled a little hard, so I broke that one, but that's okay. All right, and then we've got our last page. Now for our last page, we don't need to worry about these 2 hinges because we'd have nothing to hinge it to. So just line it up as good as you can. And then just pull your pieces of tape. Okay. So what we've done now is we've got ourselves a nice little notebook. I can flip through the pages. I can decide which side's the top. I'll probably go with this way. And you should be able to flip through everything like that. Now, what I do, or at least what I have been doing, is I've been taking another piece of tape, and on every section, what I'll do is I'll just put like one long one over it, or I guess you could put 3 short ones, whatever you want to do. Does it look great? No, but this is a practice journal. I don't care. It's just to kind of give it a little bit of extra hold. So I'm just going to measure, get about that much. It's going to roll on me because it's rude. I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to re-pull it like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to plop it down like that. And it's just to give those hinges just a little bit of extra, I would say, durability, so that they don't come undone. And even if a page doesn't have it, sometimes I'll put it in there, sometimes I won't. Just kind of depends, like on what the page is doing. So on these bare ones, it probably won't. I'll probably just leave those alone. But on like ones like this, I will. And if you wanted to be more decorative about it, you could put it on both sides, you know. Let your journal be what you want it to be. Me, I just want it to be strong and hold. Okay, so something like that. And then on this one, you have hinges on both sides because this is where it started getting those. So for this one, I will put it on both sides. So I'm just gonna measure it. It's about right. Uncurl my tape. And smush it down. And then on the other side, measure it a bit. sure that I like that little bit of overhang, but I'll survive. Once again, not going for perfection. Though perfection is quite nice when you obtain it though, right? Every once in a while when you do that one perfect circle and you're like, how did I do it? It's also kind of relaxing. I like playing with washi tape. I know that's another thing I didn't really start using until this year. It's washi tapes. Very fun. Oh, went up a little bit. Move that back down. There we go. Uh-oh. Tape here. Hopefully I have enough to do the book and all the color. Otherwise that would be a little sad. But it's okay. I have more tape. Not this color, but different colors. There we go. We'll cut this one a little short so I can use the other one for the back. And lastly, please be long enough. Oh no, we're just short enough. Shoot. Well, maybe I can do this. Oh no, is that part? Oh no, that part's not sticky. Okay, it's okay. We'll use the strawberry for the back. Not a biggie. That's plenty long. Just like that. All right. So now we've got ourselves a nice, just little journal. It looks pretty. I like it. So this is going to be my watercolor journal book. So what I wanted to do was christen it with some watercolors. So give me one moment and I'll be right back with some watercolor paint and a couple of other things. So I'm thinking I'm going to try in the abstract watercolor book, which Janet enabled me on this one. It's a really cool book. Both Janet and Dee Dee have actually used it on their channel before, and I really love the work that they've done with this book. So on this one, it's called Loose Stripes, and it has this really pretty magenta color, and it looks like they used 3 color choices. They used permanent magenta, permanent rose, and Windsor violet for this one. So what I thought is I could go step by step and try to recreate this. I don't know how it'll go. I've never done this one before. Honestly, the only one that I've ever done was the Pebbles one, which, let me see if I can find that one. So I did that in one of my regular journals. Let's see here. It was in my mixed media journal. I'm gonna put this book over here on this side so I can still see it while I'm talking to you guys. Let me see if I can find that mixed media journal real quick to show you. I did this one when Janet did hers on her channel. During one of my breaks afterwards, I went through and did it. So this is just my whatever I want to put in here journal. Let's see. Where did I put that one? I thought it was towards the front, but maybe it was in the back. So I know I did it in here somewhere. That's my washi tape pages. Ah, here it is. So this is one of the ones I did for the Pebbles. That was with the rules from this book, and I just chose a different color scheme for it. This time, I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep it to the same colors that they have in the book, just because I really like those magentas. So we'll see where it takes us. And I'm actually going to use my brand new paints that I just swatched. They're my Teo Tree 168s. So they look like this. So I'm going to set that there. I'm also going to get a little piece of paper to put in here. That way I don't gum up my book. There we go. And then we'll also do, I'm going to use this brush. This is an Ohuhu, which, like I said, I'm really sad because I don't know that Ohuhu makes paintbrushes anymore. I tried going on their website to look because I really fell in love with these ones I found at a garage sale. Like, I found a couple of them, and unfortunately, I've not been able to find them since. So if you know where I can get Ohuhu brushes, or if you suggest a brush that's similar to these, I would love to know where they are. This one's a number 8. Right now it's what I've got. I do have some like cheap ones that came with this paint set that are other sizes, but what I'm worried about with them is that one's okay, but the number 6 one is really stiff. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or not. So that's why I would much rather go with something that's similar to what I'm already using, so I kind of know what to expect. So I've got all that. And then really the only other thing I would suggest is a paper towel or something, just so that you're able to wipe off your brush in case you need to, like in case you get too much water. And then I like to use a little flashcard to see what how much pigment is in the water, since I'm not used to it yet. And it's kind of nice, like whenever I made my ATC cards, what I did was I wrote over some of my swatching that I had done for a painting, and then used that as a background to some lettering I did on some ATC cards. So it's definitely worth it to keep something small to swatch on. That way you can reuse it for something else. So the first thing the book says is to try by masking your corners. So I'm gonna try. I don't have small masking tape though, I only have big. So my one worry is what that might do to the washi tape. So I'm just gonna be a little careful and do the best I can. So here's what I'll do. I'll do it as close to it as possible without actually getting on it. I think that'll be okay, like this maybe. And then I'll just be gentle when I go to pull up later. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, oh no. The tape is trying to stick to itself. That piece did not work. Ah, get off me. Try that again without becoming a rolled up mess. Okay, so then let's do like maybe here. Not the best at taping, so this probably is not going to be very straight, but we're just gonna live with that and let it be, let it be. Okay. And one thing I've learned from watching Denise Love is if you have problems with your masking tape sticking to your pages, you can use your heat gun on it and it'll pop up. So I definitely think I'm gonna try that because I did have problems last time I tried to do this with just that. Okay, so we've got some masking tape on there and we're gonna try that out. And then she says on here, start by masking your page, and then next wash a layer of paint in a band across the sheet to create your first stripe. Then continue with these stripes, working down the page. When you're working down the page, when you're happy with the colors and patterns, let the first layer dry completely. First, paint stripes on clean dry paper using a dryer brush to get different effects. Create white space by leaving gaps between the pages. And lightly connect other stripes to allow colors to run together. So there's different things that we can do here. And so it looks like on the top one, she did like 3 lines of those 3 colors where they're actually touching to let them just run into each other. So I think I am going to do something similar here. And let's see. We want magenta, a rose, and a violet. I think I'm going to use, in this, I'm going to use maybe Camilla for the rose. I do have a magenta, but I'm worried it might be a little too pink. So I'm going to go with Terrific Purple. I don't know, maybe we'll go with it. We'll do it. We'll do Camilla, magenta, and let's do ultraviolet and see what happens. We'll use those 3 colors. So now what I'm going to do is for the first color, I'm going to go ahead and use the Carmilla. So let me go ahead and get my brush wet here. Test it over here, so it's going to be kind of that color there. Okay. And I'm going to get it nice and juicy here, and I'm going to start painting a stripe. Just like that, and I might go back over it one more time to make sure it's really in there. Just like that. wash a bit, and then I'm gonna dip back into the water, and then I'm gonna go to my magenta. And I'm just gonna get that in there. So just like that. And then I'm gonna go with the ultraviolet. Next, she kind of has the same thing going on, but she has them to where they're in kind of a pattern. So I'm going to try to do that. So I'm going to go back into my cardamom. Magenta. Lastly, purple again, which is ultraviolet, and I'm going to do it right in the boop. 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 There we go. Go back to cardamom again. Paint another stripe with the bottoms touching a bit. Like that. There's kind of like a messy looking magenta purple one. So what I might do with that is, let's see, how are we gonna get it to look messy-ish? What I'll do is kind of come over here, and I'm gonna hold it like lightly and just kind of let it do what it wants. The same thing with the purple again. intentional gaps in there. So I'm kind of like, that's really pretty. And then we just keep making stripes, it looks like. So next I'm gonna make, this time I'm into, do I want to keep going with that pink purple, or do I want to kind of change it up a bit? I'm gonna change it up a bit, I think. So I'm gonna do magenta again. I'm gonna do a thick area of it. Like that. And then maybe just kind of brush it a bit and give it a strange line. Be kind of fun. There we go, like that. And then let's do purple again. Something like that. And then do our cardamom. Do a big stripe down here of it. Except let's rough it up a bit. Maybe do a little bit of some zagging. Zag and drag. And then get some of that magenta in there. And then end it with a big purple. Make a little stripe there. Yeah, just like that. Okay, I like that. That's pretty. And then I think I want to add some dots in there. I'm not, like, I did add white like they said to, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. So I'm gonna go back and let's do some of that cardamom again. Let's just do some little raindrops here. And maybe we'll do with what we did with those other ones and just add a bit of magenta to them. Boop, 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 boop. Maybe just an interesting purple line here. So that way we still have that, but it's just more interesting, I guess. Okay. And then we are going to want to wait for this to dry a little bit. So I'll come back when this is dry. Okay, so for the most part, this is fairly dry now. So we're back in action. So now we're gonna add our second layer of paint, and it says at this time, because you're doing it on dry, you have more of an opportunity to add more colors to it, or more of your color to it. So I'm gonna kind of go based off of what she did on hers. So she did like these circles. Use the same 3 colors here. Keep to my palette. Okay. So something like that. And then I'm going to use some magenta in there. Next, she's got some purple lines running through there. So I'm gonna try that. And they just looked like really thin little lines. So just a something like that. Left that space alone, and she did like little water droplets in here. So how she did that, she said she added soft raindrop by adding dots of very watery paint. So I'm gonna go back to my cardamom, and for this, if it's supposed to just be really watery, I'm gonna use a little tray. Just gonna get that cardamom in there and some water. Make it really watery. Oop, I was attached to the tape there. And I'm just gonna go boop, 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 boop. And then I kind of want to add some depth in there, so I'm going to do the same thing but with magenta too. So I'm going to take magenta and I'm going to bop it on my tray here, and I'm just going to add more water to it until it gets kind of goopy. So it'd be kind of a fun look if some of the raindrops just suddenly darker, like that. Okay. And then on this one, she took purple and did some more of her like raindroppy looks, but with just like lines. I think I'm just gonna do horizontal lines, so I'm gonna do mine a little different. So I don't want it to be exactly the same. So I'm gonna go loop, 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 loop. The essence of whoop. Something like that. I like that. And then I see in here that there's nothing really going on. Like, yeah, she left space in hers. But do I want to leave that kind of space in mine? I don't know. Let's see. What I might do is little tiny dots in there. Maybe I'll take that cardamom again. And do just like the world's tiniest little dots. There we go. I like that. That's different. And then let's see here. Down here she did circles. So let's try that out and see what that ends up looking like. And she did circles of all 3 colors. So let's try it out. So I'm gonna do cardamom first. And these are like O-ring circles, so it's like, let's see if I can, like that. We've just got a bit of jelly donut in there. Magenta. Go ahead and do that purple. ultraviolet as it's called. A hole in it because it got it kind of wet. Something like that. I think that looks pretty good. And then we're just gonna let it dry again. So I'll be back. Okay, so now we're gonna test and see if this page is dry enough. Why I say that is because sometimes if it's not dry enough, like if it's still a little damp inside of the page, it will absorb your acrylic pens. And I did drop some water on here, that's a shame, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go through and start doing the mark making pieces. So on hers, she's got like little circles like this. And as it starts to dry, we'll be able to see if it's gonna absorb our colors or not. I'm gonna go ahead and start playing a bit. Just gonna do little dots inside here. Some of them are a little close together and others are a little far apart. And I think that's okay. So we've got that, and then in the middle of these there were some like dashes, kind of like that. And then I have a purple Posca here as well. I thought with the purple Posca we could maybe have some bun lines, like I was thinking maybe some zigzags. Just for a spot of fun. I like zigzags. Make it look pretty and busy. Because I can have it both ways. that. On this next one, let's see, it says we can do white lines over the top here. So let's do just some generic white lines through here on top of our dark bold ones. Just like that. And then what I'm gonna do with these is I'm gonna kind of follow the shape a bit. It really wild and interesting looking in here. Something like that. And then I might leave that white line alone. Kind of like it. Maybe, I don't know if it'll show up or not, but I'll do some white stripes here. It probably is not going to show up very well, but they are here. Maybe I'll make them come up into this. Yeah, there we go. That looks very interesting. We're gonna save these for the gold. And then let's do some dots or something in between here. That'd be kind of cool. So why should white have all the fun? Gotta get some purple in there. Like that. And then let's see. Maybe we can do just like a little teardrop in here just to create some interest. Like that. And then we can bring back our dots from earlier, but put them inside. Instead of just circles. So we can do that. like that. And then maybe do some outlines around them. All right, so now we're gonna try something I've never tried before also. So lots of firsts in here. And that is gonna be this gold karatake. I have never used it before, but I bought some. And then I also got some tools to help me with it. And I was enabled by Janet on this one as well. She had gotten not only the karatake gold, but she had also gotten this like liner pen, which I've never used before. So I'm a little scared because I have no idea what to do with this, but we're gonna try our best. And then we're also going to use some liner tools here. These are for nails. So just a bunch of different little tools and pieces. Gotta get my little liner thing out. I'm not really sure how to load this puppy unless you just dip it in there and hope for the best. So we shall see, I guess. Let's see here. So I don't really see how to load it. So what I might do is I might dip it in. Boy, that seems awful thick though. And then, maybe you scoop it. Like I said, trying new things here. I've never used this before, so let's see. I don't know about that. That's not really doing anything. I may have to ask more questions before I use that, because I'm not really sure how it works. Let me try widening it and scooping. Let's see what that... Oh, okay. So I widened it and scooped, and now it's working quite nicely. So that must be what we needed. So I widened it a bit and then put the ink inside of it. All right, let's try it. Let's get messy with some gold and see if I can do this without making a big old mess. Doing it. Come on, friend. Work with me. Janet, if you watch this, one of the things that's happening when I'm doing this is it's not quite going into the pen. Is there a better way to load this? Would be my question to you. Otherwise, it is drawing quite nicely. Like, I mean, it is doing things. I'm just not sure that I'm using it correctly. So, tell me if I'm being silly or not, please. Okay. really beautiful gold. There we go, now it seems to be working. I just have to like kind of go in a circle. Oh, must be out. And this is called a ruling pin. I'd never seen one before until I was on Janet's channel. And once again, her channel is Janet M. Young. And you hear me talking a lot about all these different channels because, like I said, I've never been to any traditional school or anything. So all the people that I watch are actually teaching me things. So I like to watch them and learn from them. So if you feel like I'm talking about them a lot, I probably am, and I don't mind that. I'm not bothered by it because I learn so much from them on a daily basis that if they get more subscribers from somebody watching me, I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm gonna try using some of these little tools here. These are like actually for nails, I believe, but they're like little dotting tools. That was also on her suggestion on one of her streams. So I'm going to, let's see. On that, it has like big balls on these lines. Let's try that. Big ball. That is a very pretty gold. Now I see why everybody's always talking about it so much. So everybody loves their Kuritakis. And this is on Amazon. It's like $11.99. At least that's what it was when I got it. And from what I understand, this stuff lasts quite a long time in here, but it's really kind of crazy. Like every channel I've seen uses it, regardless of who the artist is. Like Denise Love uses it, Janet uses it, Dee Dee uses it, everybody uses it. Like it seems to be kind of the rage right now. Nice, very dotty. Almost looks like I got the dots busier over here than I did over there, but I'm not really worried about it. It's abstract. We're just gonna let it be abstracty. Okay, and then I'm gonna take that liner pen and I wonder what would happen if I tightened it a little bit. Would it give me a smaller line? That'd be kind of cool. Play with it. See, maybe we can just go around the edges of the white. Like that. It's kind of fun. Different. Oh god, that was a big ass glob of that. Excuse my French, but it was big. Big, y'all. Big. want to do it along that bottom edge too. Got my up and down lines here, so what I might do is I might do some up and down lines of the gold too. Just to kind of have a little bit of fun here. Might have just accidentally saw me on camera there, my bad. Sometimes I wear contacts, and sometimes it makes me have kind of a hard time seeing what's going on, like up close, so then I like lean in really close. I'm like, ah. I do not really have a face for camera, so I would rather not, but you know, it happens. It's looking cool. I like that a lot because it kind of gives you the illusion that that white is turning into gold, even though that's not really what's happening. Just an illusion, but we like that illusion. Okay, so I've got that. And then next, we've got, maybe, let's see here. Because I really like those outlines. Maybe I can just put gold in the middle. Like maybe a dot of gold again would be good, or a couple dots or something like that. Maybe I can do like little dots like what we've got going on in there. Or we could do like on the inside maybe a little bit of like shape play. Like, let's see if I can get this liner to work the way I wish for it to. So don't want to mess up that pretty line. So let's make it kind of like cheetah print in a weird way. Where we're still getting those like cool lines from the raindrops, but they're also getting a little bit of fun. I think that'll look cool. Plus it gives us something besides just dots and lines. So we don't want too much of the same stuff. So kind of run the element of abstract and then make it more like patterning. Well, this liner seems to be doing okay now. Interesting. think that looks fun. All right. And then let's do little dots of gold in there. I think that would look cool. And maybe do some white in the middle of that. I think that needs some white. Clean out my lining pen real quick. So I don't want to get that weird and dirty. Okay. So let's, what did I do with that white Posca pen? There it is. What I was thinking is I kind of want no gold in this, but it does need a highlight, I think. So I'm gonna do this. Like that, okay? And then I'm gonna do gold around these, but like little dots. Let's do this size. Some of these are a little globby. By globby, I mean much bigger than what I wanted. It's okay. Steal some of the ink. I do think that's gonna look really cool though. How that looks. It's gonna look great. I just like how shiny that is. Sorry, I'm being quiet here. I'm just trying to get all this ink up. My bad. Just realized no talking is happening. Not trying to be a bad host. I almost kind of like it when I accidentally get a glob that's too big, because then I don't have to go back to the container. So I can just be like, yes, give me more gold, please. There we go, something like that. And then I wanted to go over those O-rings in the gold, so I need to get that liner back out. Seems like you have to kind of hold this at an angle for it to work its best. That's what I'm noticing. So if anybody else gets one of these ruler pens, that seems to be the secret in the recipe. So hold it sideways a little bit. Or that, or maybe I'm just imagining it, but it's definitely like, oh, come on out. Seemed like it was coming out a little bit better when I was doing that. Oh my god, that was a really big one. Oops. Okay, I like that. Alright, that looks really good. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. Well, I think that really we just need for this to dry a little bit, and then we can pull it up and see what we got. So I'm a little excited about that. I'm hoping that I can get the tape off without it hurting my paper. But I think that's gonna look pretty good. Let's see here. Just wiping out my Kuretake real quick. Close this so it doesn't dry up. It's really cool stuff. Alright, so let's see how this is gonna go. I'm gonna very gently start pulling on this. Rip my paper, please. Ah, okay, got our first one off. Let's see about the second. All right, no rips, we're good. Uh-oh, that masking tape ripped there. Okay, let's see. I want to be able to pull it off all at once. Let's try this side instead. That looks really cool. Now this we're gonna have to be a little careful about because we've also got washi tape. hold the washi tape down. Just gently pull. Oh, I did rip a little bit of the paper there, but I don't think you're going to be able to notice it really. It's a bit of a shame. I wonder what happens if I pull it from this side. Maybe I can get it without ripping any more of it. I probably should have used some heat with this masking tape because it is ripping my paper a little bit. But it still looks pretty darn good. I'm not mad about it. Take that out of the way too. And this is now the cover of my watercoloring book. So, if you made it with me this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I think that this is a lot of fun. Like, I'm really excited for everything I can put in this journal. And hopefully it'll be just a wild adventure. I'm probably going to be using that watercolor book a lot just because it has a lot of good guidance in it that I can use. But other than that, we'll just see what happens. Like, I don't know what this is going to turn into. It's hopefully just going to be a really pretty journal. So thank you, and I hope you guys have had a great Mother's Day, and everybody's having, just in general, a really good day. So, bye!